Hello and good afternoon. So I'm just getting back. Man, today was a busy day. Had to drive all the way up to Columbia. For those that don't know, I live in Charleston, South Carolina. And so today was the day I had to drive up to Columbia and get some stuff done there. Um, and so I wasn't able to do anything as far as uh, trading today, outside of coming back after in the evening time here and marking up some charts for finally getting through. I'll be able to go through hopefully, and we can back test what last week looked like. I was in a USD CAD from Monday. Over the night, it reached just 1 to 1, but I was not managing it, and then came back and stopped me out. So normally at a 1 to 1, I take and move everything to break even. So it's a risk-free trade and allow price to just continue moving if it's going to move in that direction. And so although I was not able to do that, I actually took a full stop out on that one versus it being a risk-free trade. So, or break even. So that would have been nice, but it is what it is. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from what you may have done wrong at the time, as far as management, which usually it didn't fit my management style. So, or I didn't stick to my management plan. And so, slap on the wrist and get back to it. So session 7, I've actually got these 3 pairs loaded up for last week. These are the 3 pairs that I mainly focus on, although all the rest of them down there in the check section, I also do as well. But it really depends on if they look good or not. So I'm just going to do these 3, these 3 right here for last week and see how that plays out. And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and come down. And so I have all the dates and 50% marked up of each area. And so we're just going to go through something like this. So this is how I would back test it. I'd pretty much mark it up, go drop down to my 30 minutes, level out my chart, see what price looks like as far as an entry or anything like that. That's probably the next area that's closest. And then if for some reason price did dip further down here, that would also be a zone as well. But really that was the first one there. So then we'll just play it forward, see how price responds when it gets to this area. If it gets to this area, it may not. And so as we continue forward, we get there. So no, price never actually came down during that next day. That would be Monday, the 18th. Monday, the 18th. From the week prior, nothing actually played out. So drop into the daily. Here's what that looks like. Let me get that control button so we can get in there quicker. So there's what that looks like. So I'll kick it forward just a little bit. Now this would be the end of the 18th. This would be the end being 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So drop down to the 30 minutes. This would be that area there. So that's 50% of that candle, the 18th candle. And so we're coming into the 19th. And so this zone looks pretty good as a break and retest, but we've also had this as well. And the only problem with this is it didn't do anything here. It's actually broke under and is continuing to drop. So I would actually leave it somewhere in this area here, even though we have a level here, but it hasn't been respected. So I would leave that alone, and then let's see how price plays out. Okay, we're coming into the area. We're playing around a little bit. So now we're down in this area right here, and it looks like we're pausing for a little bit. We pause for a little bit here. And so this is where, if you're familiar with any sort of stops, you have a couple different ways to place trades. You have instant execution, which is a market order. You have stops, which basically as price runs through an area, it will trigger you in. And then you have limits. So it's a threshold. So when price bumps up to an area or down to an area and then reverses the other direction, that's really where you want to put your limits at. So that would be one area. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this for a second. Got some people coming in. So sorry about that. Yep, had some people come over, so I had to just entertain some people. But as I was saying, you have a couple different ways to enter into the market, and so one of them is a stop order, and so you can basically set an order above an area if you're expecting price to move in that direction, um, and and uh, you'll be triggered in if it does move in that direction, or if spreads trigger you in, depending on how close you put the stop order in. Um, so seeing how this plays out, what'll happen now that we got price down here? If price respects this level, even dips a little bit further, I can start moving this stop. But like right now, I have two highs that haven't broken above here, with the two wick areas. We had this entire area right here that it hasn't broken above, and now it's coming into the area that I was expecting it to, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get out of that. So we have a bullish candle there. That would trigger me in right there, and we'll see where it goes from here. So now I'd be in the trade, and it would go. So at that area right there, we'd already be at break even. So let's say that would be break even. Should be 1 to 3. There we go. So there's the 1 to 3, and then we just let it ride out. I'm already at break even, so it's a risk-free trade. And we'll see where it goes. And so there's a 1 to 3. So that completes that for that day, and we would be done. Moving on to the next day, let's move it forward a little bit, reset the channel, come back to 30 minutes, and this is the next zone that we have here. It lines up nicely with this one. You have these areas here, but there's really nothing there. If you consider that a break, the only valid place that would be any relevance would be this here, down in this area right here. But it's in comparison to some of these other areas where it's broken up and then come back, like it's not the same. And so this would be the area I'd be looking for. So we just play this forward and see how price moves through. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one because that is not where I would be looking. And then we'll see if price comes down. Price does not look like it's coming down, and now we're fully into another day. So, okay, coming back. Didn't realize how much work it is to actually do this while people are home. So start up the new day, 20th. Why does it look like it didn't move forward like I expected it to? There we go. That should be the new day. There we go. Okay. So new day, previous candle closed bearish. So I'm expecting the next candle to go bearish. I haven't been saying that the other ones, but I mean, that's because the lines were, I already knew which direction I wanted to go, and I didn't see this line underneath. So I do want it to go bearish. That's what I'm expecting. So unfortunately, this is one of those doji candles. When you start seeing a doji candle in any higher time frame, you end up getting a mess down here in the lower time frame. So for clean capability, like there's 50% of the body area, but you have a zone here where it's been a break and it looks like it's retesting now. And then you have a previous area here where it's interacted with, but it's not clean. It didn't react cleanly here. It whipped in and out of it. So it's like I would be very hesitant to play with this area here. Might be more likely to play here, but since we're at the very beginning of the opening of the candle, it's like in order to create the wick that I'm expecting, it might actually have to come into this area here. So I'm just going to watch and see how everything plays out. And we'll go from there. Let me uncheck. So like Price is moving its way up. It's trying to break into a new higher high from this lower 30-minute trend right here. It's very, very small. um, and I wouldn't even call it a trend yet because we haven't fully gotten a new higher high um, to make this the higher low. So we have a doji and indecision candle there. If we get a strong bearish candle to help show that there are sellers in this area, in and around this area right now, then I might go ahead and take that trade as a sell to believe that, I mean, it's a wick, it's created a wick, and it's a really small wick. Could do also a um, stop entry underneath these lows here, or even break the low here, because then if it definitely breaks through this, then there's a higher probability that it will continue down. So let me think about that. I like stop orders because it saves you from getting triggered in too early, and it makes you plan your trade really far. Like, it plans it versus instant execution. You know, I want to get in it right now. So stop orders help with practicing patience. And so I'm going to try to practice some patience. So we have a low here and a low here, but once again, I want it to come down in this area here, understanding that if this is the wick, then it shouldn't come back up here and test, and it should just roll over. So we'll come back down here for a 1 to 3. We'll go close right there. Actually, I'm not going to, just because it's gonna get on my nerves. 6. There is our 1 to 3. So 1 to 3. We'll see how the next candle plays out. Did that finish? It did finish. See, so we do get a strong bearish candle. Let's see if we continue on with that bearish, and we do. So now we're triggered into the trade. Price comes back up and stops me out. So that would be a loss there. The question would be, would I look still, given this rejection off that area as I was expecting earlier? If I now get another bearish push, we have a break there. So I'd want a break there with a little high above that, and coming for a 1 to 3. So we're going to do 155, then 465, should be a 1 to 3. So if price rolls over now and continues down, we'll be good to go. Let's see how it goes. Oh, that would probably have triggered me in, and I would have been stopped out. Given spreads right there, I won't even pretend that would have triggered me in right there. And so I would have been triggered in. So this is 2 losses in back to back, and I would just go ahead and call it quits now. So up 3, down 2, I'm up 1 for this pair right now, as we move on to the next day. So up 1, that did not move again. So we have this candle ended up closing. It's weird. Why are these candles out here? I don't know why they're out there. This would be an area to look at as roughly near the 50% mark. It looks like it somewhat played through early, so we're at that area already. I'd want to see if it comes a little bit deeper down. We get a little bit deeper down. We get some areas. It looks like it's hesitating here. It's losing momentum of that drop. So once again, I'm going to practice this whole patience thing. If this is the wick area, and then this is I expect this candle to go up based upon that arrow right there, based upon the day prior. Don't show me. Is it going to show me? Getting a little messy there. Based upon this candle here, expecting the next candle to go up. Actually, this is the candle I'm looking at, isn't it? Darn. All right. Try to stay away from seeing stuff ahead of time so it doesn't ruin your honesty in the trades. So expecting the next candle to go up. We'll see how this plays out, going for 1, 2, 3, 114, 342. All right, and see how that plays out. Oh, okay, that triggered me in, came back down, and I'm out. So now I am break even for the week. Yep. Oh, that's sad. So break even for the week. All right, I didn't lose any money, so that's a good start. So had a couple good trades there that I think were viable and did pretty well. And so yeah, see how that went. That one was probably the prettiest. Waited for the 50% area roughly, and then waited for price to stall for a little bit before going off in the other direction. Tried that same exact tactic over here and ended up getting stopped out twice. And then roughly same thing here. Now, I guess, looking at and comparing, we do have a much of bigger push before it comes back down. We didn't get much here. And then definitely went into a second one almost immediately after. Same thing here, not much of a push, and then also not much of a wait before jumping in. Here, I had a bunch of candles before I decided to put the stop entry in, and so I mean that would be the difference between the two. So, moving on to GBP USD, looking at 7:15. So this will be turning into the Monday, coming into 30-minute time frame. So we got a zone here, a pretty nice 50% zone here. I'd have to widen it out a little bit for that and try to capture as much of that right there. And then we'll see how price plays out. Looks like price never came back. And so price did go up as we expected, but never actually came back. So now we start with the 18th. We have 50% retracement. I have, this is the nearest level right there. Really don't have anything else. Much like the odd USD we had earlier, you have this area here. We'll see if it holds as a break and retest. But once again, you don't have much of, you have a pause, a breakaway, and then a breakthrough. This isn't much of a pause before it breaks away. So it's like, that's not really a good strong zone to be looking at. So let's wait till it gets down here, if it does, and we'll see what happens. So price comes down, comes back up, and leaves. So no trade there. Moving to the next day. We have a 719. We have that area right there, which lines up with this area. So, and then try to capture, you have a small little blip there, but you see that it at least had a reaction. So we'll see, expecting this price to go up. So we'll see how that goes. I have no idea what that's there for. We can get rid of that. See how price moves. So expecting price to come into this zone here. Price goes up, up. Oh, we came back down. What do we got? Oh, okay. Pricing didn't come deep in this one. Now we're deep in this one. Have a rejection. Weird small doji candle, not really. We're pushing back down. Let's watch this area. All right, so now we have a stronger rejection off this area right here. So let's do, we now have, okay, if this is going to flip, then it would have to break these highs here, and we'll go for our 1 to 3. 1224. So that is pretty huge, but we'll see how it goes. Triggered in. price comes down, oh, stops us out. All right, so down one, and I think I'm actually in the next day. So I won't move forward on the daily just in case it shows us. This closed lower than open, so we are expecting the next candle to go down. Price would have to move into this area right here, which is pretty big. You have all these wick areas here and here. There's really no nice way to clean that up. So we'll leave it there and just see what price does if it gets to that area. We're not, there we go. Now we're coming into that area. It's a strong bullish candle into that area. We have small pause, even smaller pause. All right, so if this is the wick, then we're gonna expect this one to go. Let's do a break of that low and 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you guys can catch all that. Big family, remember? And then we got neighbors. They also like to come over. All right, we are in. Ooh, okay. Well, as much as I would love to count that, that does not count at all because at a 1-to-1, we would have went break even. So although price did go in the direction I was expecting, I would have gotten triggered back out with knocked back out with that whipsaw motion right there. And so count that. I'm still down one. If you use the other, oh no, we're breaking even on that one. So technically we'd be down one for the week. So moving towards the next day. That looks like it did not move forward. All right. So the 20th is this area right there. Looks like it closed bullish. So we're expecting the next candle to go up. This is the area here. We have some play with it here, a small breakout, and then a break back in, and then a rejection here, and then a follow breakthrough. So we would be expecting price to come back through, at least tap this level and go before we get the next entry. So let's see what happens. I have no idea what just happened there. It was a nice little, so we're back in the zone. And it looks like, nope. And so if that's the wick area, we have nothing really to play with outside of the push that it's already in. So it's like, if this is the wick, it's a strong push. So how did I miss that? Is that not 941? 951. There we go. So unfortunately, let's see. That's not too much of a range. We'll see how it goes. I mean, what are you going to do? So triggered in, and price comes back, and we will see what that did right there. So depending on, is that 5 pips? That's 5 pips. Depending on your spread, that may not have triggered you out. Most spreads on GBP USD around the 3 o'clock time frame aren't that crazy, and so it would have been down 2 and now back to up 1. Oh no, this one was a break even. So down 1, up 2. So we'd be up 2 for the week, at least how it sits right now on GBP USD with AUD USD as a break even week. So up 2. So moving towards USD CAD, same thing. We're just going to let everything play out, move everything as it goes. And what do we got? So that's 50% zone. Clean it up a little bit, coming in here. And then let's see how it plays. I'm waiting for price to come up. Does not look like price is going to come up. So we'll move on to the next day. So This is the next day, 18. Prices made a move. This would be 50%. This would be interesting because what we do have, if you look at how price has moved, price broke through, came and retested, respected, and broke through. The next zone that you'd probably look at is this, the most recent level that was broken, which would be here. However, it's already pummeled through that and is coming back to this area here. So by a lot of people's, including mine, technical standard, this is still in a downtrend. And as long as this area right here is respected. So if we can get a pause here and then a good level to work with for a sell stop, then that's what we'll do. So looking at that, we'll see where this goes. So we've got nothing here yet. Okay, so now we have something. We're popping back up above the open of this candle. So this would be the wick or the start of a wick. So the question is, see, now we have a little bit of a level here. And this may be the rollover effect. So let's do this. We'll put a stop here. And if price rolls through, I want to stop a little bit above. I don't want it to test. I do want it to break through. So that'll be that. So let's see how the next candles play out. Coming back up, respecting that area there, keeping it going. So we have this nice little level right here that needs to be broken. So, all right, that probably would have triggered us in. We would be in. And that would be that. Looks like we would have got to our 1-to-1, no break even. So we are up 3 on that one. So plus the 1 from the other one. So up 4. Or is it 2? No, we're up 2 on the other one and 3 on this one. So up 5. I need to find a better way to keep track of that. I'll keep it up on the notepad next time. So up 5. I'm expecting this next candle to go down. That did not play forward. Play forward. All right. So we have this middle area way out in the middle of nowhere. We can leave that there. What we do have is this area here as a level, and then this one as the final point of a downtrend. So I would have liked price to continue down a little bit further before coming up to this area, but we'll see how this plays out. And man, this is a mess. So trying not to allow this stuff to get in my head. I want to see how price responds here before doing anything, and trying to ignore all that. So what in the junk? I have no idea what just happened there. And I can't really jump to a different one. So price is coming back up there and respecting that, but I'm not sure what's happening with price right there. If I would have seen that in the market, I would have let it be because I'm not sure. Is it possible to have gotten a trade there? Probably gotten a 1-to-1, but then break even? Yes. So let's call that day a junk. Move over to the next day. And we got the 50% level right there. Expecting price to go, this next candle go down. So, and that's the zone. That's an ugly zone. Let's do, so that cleans it up a little bit better. Actually, if we ignore this area and just go with the clean areas here, that would be a nice retest area with the possibility of this being another area as well, although that's already into the wick area. So we'll see how this plays out. So we get a test, comes into this area, rejects back out. There's really not a level created for us to work with. And even if I did put it underneath there, this one would have invalidated that right now. Get a strong reaction there. If this is the wick, then I would need price to continue all the way down here to break this level. Although this is sort of holding this level here. Let's do halfway. We'll try halfway. If we're up 5 for the week, then we could risk a 1. So we're in that one. Would we have been triggered in? 2 pips, probably not. So we're holding this level here. So, I mean, if it breaks, then it breaks down and we have our stop loss in a safe place, given that that's the wick. And we'll see how it plays out. Looks like price is coming back up. And now it's come back up to that level there. And so that area would be canceled and we see how price is moving. So we've moved and we've broken above this level here and now it's coming back down. So it needs to create another level. That's not good enough. Price would have to pull back and then break through again in order to start this downtrend here. Looks like it's not going to do that. It's a strong impulse push back in, but we're not there. If this is the wick would have to go there, and then we would have to have a huge 1 to 3. But if I get to a 1 to 1, I still get to break even. Oh man. All right, nope. Price does not look like it's doing a nice thing right now. So we'll let it play out and see how it goes. Looks like, yeah, would have gotten to a 1 to 1. Can I can undo that. Okay. So yeah, would have gotten to a 1 to 1. And been able to go to break even, but that would have been pretty to see it, but disappointing that it immediately came back and stopped me out. So we're at +5 for the week. Correct me if I did my math wrong, but I think I did. And that's just on 3 pairs. And so yeah, this is roughly how I do on a lower time frame. I would love to do it on a different time frame, but like I said, most of these trades end up hitting 3 o'clock in the morning is when you get your entry, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just not up for it. So hopefully you guys caught some stuff on roughly how I see the market and how I go about retracing the week. Back testing roughly is about the same way, although I don't usually date my stuff. I'll do it candle by candle. Yeah, so if you are still, this is your journey, I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions on back testing or if there's a particular strategy out there that you're like, hey, let's see, how would you back test this? Shoot it to me in the comments below and I will definitely do that. Once again, if this is your journey, then I hope you find favor in this and all of your endeavors. And I want to wish you a good evening and for you to be well and God bless.